on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
Hello guys, down here should be another Pokemon showing on moveset / build. This time I'm doing a Mega Banette moveset, which was recommended by Guy in Corner. So thank you for recommending this Pokemon, and everyone else can leave their recommendations down below in the comments section. I'll be sure to get to those as soon as possible. So before we get started, I'd just like to say that before Guy in Corner recommended Mega Banette, I have not used Banette or Mega Banette in a competitive scene at all. I had no experience with them. I barely even seen one in battle. So to build this, it was actually pretty interesting, and I actually had a lot of fun doing it. So we're actually going to go over to the stats first, because I like to compare Mega stats versus regular Pokemon stats, and sadly there aren't as many changes as I would like. There's only one really big significant thing, and that is in the attack. So if we look at the HP, 64, 165 in attack, defense is 75, special attack is 93, special defense is 83, and speed is 75. Go over to regular Banette, we have no change in HP, a 50 power change in attack, 65 defense, 83 special attacks, 63 special defense, and 65 speed. So not much in anything but the attack. So it's kind of odd, because if we look at Pokemon like Metagross, for example, if we look at Metagross, we have a boost in attack, a big boost in defense, a boost in special attack, a pretty big boost in special defense, a high boost in speed. And then we go over to Mega Banette, and the only really noticeable thing is in the attack. So it's really interesting trying to use this Pokemon, and here's what I came up with. So ability, of course, is Prankster. This Pokemon's status moves have the priority increased by 1. This is a really good ability for those of you who don't know, who have never seen like a Sableye. Sableye is very common to have this ability, because he can run Will-O-Wisp, Protect, Taunt, stuff like that, Toxic, and he can throw those out, and using Protect, he automatically has priority. So, with the Prankster ability, so he can throw out a Toxic, Protect right away, and because he has Prankster, his Toxic always goes first, and you just get Toxic. This is Prankster is also a very good ability to counter setups. Pokemon who like Smeargle and I can't think of anybody off. Smeargle, Ferrothorn are very common Pokemon that set up Stealth Rock, Spikes, Leech Seed, and all that. Prankster is a really good ability to counter that, and I'll explain that a little later. But we're going to go into the moves real quick. Shadow Sneak is going to be a really good move because of your low base speed. This gives you priority. It gives you 60 power with Stab. So 40 plus Stab equals 60 power, 100% accuracy usually goes first. This will compensate for your speed. Go over to Destiny Bond. If an opponent knocks out the user, it also faints. This is a good Final Gambit type of move. If you know you're going to die, you might as well use Destiny Bond and kill the person who killed you. It's a nice 1v1 trade in that department. So the next move is a kind of a bit of a biased opinion. For those of you who know me, you know that Knockoff was one of my favorite moves in the entire game, and here's why. It has 65 power, which is good. Now, while you aren't dark type, so you don't get stabbed, you do get 1.5 times damage if the foe has a held item. Now, in competitive play, you will almost always see a Pokemon with a held item. So therefore, if you can knock off that held item, it's a game changer. Because most strategies, for example, Choice Scarfs, Choice Bands, Choice Specs, Life Orbs, Leftovers, they're all on that Pokemon for a reason. And if you can knock off, that completely messes up your opponent's game, and they have to try and build and fight you around that, knocking off, let's say, a Choice Scarf that gives them a speed priority over your fastest Pokemon. So knockoff is a really good move, and that's why I throw it down there. It's one of my favorite Pokemon moves of all time. Go over to the Will-O-Wisp. Not only does this burn the target, which cripples them in health, it also cripples them in physical damage, which not directly, but inherently increases your defense, which makes you even more bulky, makes you survive those hits, lets you get off more Shadow Sneaks, knockoffs, and therefore, so that's why I threw Will-O-Wisp on there, and because it's a status move, you have a priority there as well, so you have 2 priority moves built in, Will-O-Wisp with your Prankster ability, and Shadow Sneak. Go to this other Banette here, as you guys probably saw before. Moves on here are Sucker Punch, Taunt, Phantom Force. These are other moves you can throw on Mega Banette if you want to use them. Let's say you don't really like Knockoff or Shadow Sneak, you could throw on a Sucker Punch. Usually goes first, fails if target is not attacking. I like to note out real quick that Sucker Punch actually does more damage, even though Shadow Sneak is a stab move, than Shadow Sneak. Sucker Punch, because it's not stab, it will only do 80 power, 100% accuracy, and Shadow Sneak with stab will do 60 power, 100% accuracy. So Shadow Sneak is 20% less, or 20 less damage, but the problem why I threw Shadow Sneak on there instead of Sucker Punch is because Sucker Punch fails if the user is not attacking, so Shadow Sneak is always guaranteed damage. The other move on here is what I talked about before, that Sableye usually carries. For 3 turns, the target can't use status moves, which is Taunt. This is really good, again, if you want to lead out with your Mega Banette, throw out a Taunt, and completely cripple the setup Pokemon on the other team. And then Phantom Force, I actually didn't even think about using Phantom Force until I saw someone recommend it to me. So, disappears turn 1, hits turn 2, breaks protections, 90 power plus stab, that's plus 45 power, that's 135 power. Paired with your base, 165 power, you're going to be dealing massive amounts of damage with this move. The only problem why I don't have it on my main set and why I put it as an alternative is because I'm not a huge fan of hit turn or disappear turn 1, hit turn 2 moves. For example, dig and fly. I'm not a huge fan of those. So that's why I threw this on here. But again, if you guys want to try it, if you guys want to get rid of Knockoff or Shadow Sneak and fill it in with Phantom Force, go right ahead. It's a really, really fun move if you can get it off. Again, the only problem was if I disappear turn 1, and while they can't protect because it breaks protections, they could switch into somebody that resists it, and it then do no damage, and that's a kind of a big deal. So, go over to the stats real quick. I know we went over the base stats. We're going to go over where I put the EVs in. So, the HP, I maxed it out. We're going to make you bulky, and I felt like there's nothing else you want to put it into, because you have crappy speed, you have decent special attack, special defense, and all that. And I just didn't want to invest in that, so I'd invested in the HP to make you more bulky, so you can get off more Shadow Sneaks, more Will-O-Wisp, and all that good stuff. Gave you the Adamant nature, because again, we're focusing on your high damage. We want to completely focus on the fact that you have 165 base power. So with the Adamant nature, with the maxed out EVs and attack, at level 50, you have 238 power. Pair that with a Shadow Sneak, a Knockoff doing 1.5 times damage, you're going to be dealing lots of damage really quick. The only problem is, you are going to get low eventually because you're so slow, so you want to be careful about your speed, know your own speed, and if you do end up getting low, use your Destiny Bond. If an opponent knocks out the user, it also faints you. You can get a 1v1 trade out of that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I had really, really fun making it, and if you guys want to recommend your own Pokemon, leave them down in the comments below. I can't even do my outro. This is the Dino Yoshi, and I will talk to you guys later.